Hi friends, in this video we will see how to use data validation in advanced level. I already have made one video on basics of data validation. So in this video we will see how to use it in advanced level. We will see how to use data validation for these selected criteria. After this we will see one example for a company which want to give loan to their employee up to rupees 1 lakh. So how to control that criteria with the help of data validation. And after that we will see one more example how to use data validation for PAN verification. As we know that PAN number having 10 digits, which first 5 digits are text, next 4 are numeric, and last digit is also text. So how to validate PAN number with the help of data validation. So let's see. Here we want to use only text. So we will first select to use data validation. First select our range where we want to apply data validation, and we'll go to data validation, and here we will use custom function. Custom is used when we want to use any formula. So here we will use one small formula is equal to is text. What this function will do, this will only allow text in your selection. It won't allow any number. You can write but when I try to write any number, let's say 500, system will not accept it. It will show me error. So if I want that a user first to be should be warned that this is the criteria, and even user wants that his conditions, his selection should be accepted, we can do the same thing also with the help of data validation. In data validation, just go to data validation, and here normally for any criteria system will not show this message, stop message, so that the user cannot accept beyond the criteria. But if we want to allow user entry, then we can select either warning or information. We will alert user a pop-up message. We will write here, do not write number here. So user will get this message at the time of any number entry, and if he writes any number and want to go ahead with his selection, system will allow. Let's write a number here. As we had selected warning, so system is warning us that do not write number here. That was our text, and by default it will select no. If I accept, then my number will be accepted. So if I want to accept it, you can say yes. So this is how you can use, instead of stop you can use warning. Also you can also use information. So here also system will show message as you type here and will accept it. One thing also you can do here, you can show pop-up when a user select your range, it will get default message. We will say that alert and not write mess number here. So as soon as the user comes in this cell, these 4 cells were not selected with the same criteria, this cell was only selected, so it is showing message here. You can select the entire range. So when user comes in that particular cell, he will understand with the help of this message what he has to do. So I can write only text here. Here we will use data validation for number. First select your range, go to data validation, custom, and here we will use one function is number, and we will select our one cell. The entire selection is there, and I have just selected first cell. So in this cell we can only write number, text will not be allowed in this number. Let's check it. 100, 1000, you can write any number. But if I try to write any text, let's say medicine, it will show me message. So this is how it works for only numbers. Here is next example is that if my previous cell is 100 and I want that next cell should not be lesser than my previous cell, so we can use a small formula to use these conditions. So I blank, I do not select my first cell because I will write any value here, and from this criteria my functions works. So I select it and go to data validation. Here I will select custom, and here we will use functions that my D5 cell, which is my first cell in this selection, should not be lesser than my previous cell. That means my D5 cell should be greater than my previous D4 cell. Just say OK. So I can write any number here, but in this cell I cannot write number lesser than my previous number. Let's see if I try to write 900. Because it is conditioned that this number should not be lesser than this number, it should be greater only. I can write 2000. Again, I cannot write any number here which is lesser than 2000. Let's say 1500. So this is how you can put your conditions based on your requirement in custom function. For this example, we'll assume that we want to write only odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, and even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. So let's assume that we want to write only odd numbers. How to use data validation? Is odd. Select your first cell. So here I can only write odd numbers. If I try to write any even number, system will not accept it. So that's how it works. Similarly, we can put our criteria for even numbers like 2, 4, 10. Select your cell first, then press is equal to is even. That was is equal to is odd for odd function. It is equal to is even. Select your cell and close the bracket. So here we can only write even numbers. 50. If I try to write 105, you can write 120 or any even number only. No duplication. When we are playing with multiple data and we want to control duplication, data validation is very useful. So if we are playing with any one number should not be repeated, any name of the person should not be repeated, so we can use data validation. Here let's see how to use it. First select your criteria where you want to apply data validation, and we'll use here one small function, COUNTIF is equal to COUNTIF. Select your range where you want to apply this function. Press F4 to get $sign, comma, and select your first cell. Close the bracket, is equal to, and 1. This was my formula. What it means? It means that any count which is written here should not be less than or greater than 1. So I cannot write any number which is not equal to 1. So always any number should be equal to 1. Once I write any number, will not allow me to write second time. Let's see practically. I say India, 1000, say flu. Again I try to write India. System is not allowed because it is already used. If I try to write my 1000 number again, the same error will be there. System won't allow me. So This is how you can use these functions to control duplication. Is equal to count if and bracket, and select your range, press $, comma, and select your first cell, close the bracket and press is equal to 1. I think this is very useful function. You can try it to use to these functions, which will be very useful in your day-to-day Excel work. Now we will see another functions. So let's assume that a company is giving loan to their staff, but criteria is that any staff should not get loan more than 1 lakh. So 1 lakh is per person, per employee, one loan limit. So how to control this data with the help of data validation? Let's first select your employee. This is my employee number, which we will write in this column. So I select this column and I give my criteria. Go to custom, and here we will use one SUMIF function is equal to SUMIF, and select your data range, press F4, press comma, select your first cell. So these are my employee number, out of which my current cell to be selected, which will verify whether the entry is repeated or not. And this is my amount column. Press F4, close the bracket, and loan amount is 1 lakh. So it should not be, should be less than 1 lakh. Press OK. Same function I have to use here to validate it, to data validation. Is equal to SUMIF, select your cell, F4, comma, your first cell, comma, your amount column. Press F4, close the bracket. Criteria is 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so let's assume employee code is E100 has taken 75,000 loan, E200 has taken 1 lakh rupees loan. Now again employee E100 comes to get 50,000 loan. So system allow or not? System does not allow, because he has already taken 75,000 loan earlier. I can write here 25,000. System will accept it because it is rupees 1 lakh. And again, if I try to write E100, because E100 has already taken 1 lakh rupees loan. Similarly, I cannot write E200. E200 also has taken 1 lakh rupees loan. So this is how you can control it with the help of data validation. So similarly, E300. Now he wants 60,000. System does not allow. Can take up to rupees 50,000 only. So this is how you can control your data with the help of SUMIF in data validation. I think this is very useful functions, and practically this is very advantage to use these functions to control your requirement. Next we will see how to use data validation for PAN verification. This is dummy PAN number, which first 5 digits are text, next 4 digits are number, and last digit is also text. So how to validate it? So to get it activated, first we will use some small functions, then we will combine all functions, and we will use one single function in data validation. So first we decide our criteria, and accordingly we are using functions. My first criteria that my PAN number should be 10 digit. How we can identify the text of our number? We can use len function is equal to len. So it provides as a result how many text in your selection. If I write any number, one more number, it will give me 11. So it has 11 text. So it is working fine. So to apply one formula, we will go with true conditions. So to check whether it has 10 number, we will write is equal to 10, which is my condition. So as current text having 10 digits, so it is showing true. My first text should be, my first number should be text. Actually my first to 5 text should be text, and for that I can use isText function, but it has some limitations when it is joined with number and text. So instead of that, we will use isNumber function here, and then we will use not function to convert it into text. So let's see how to use it. Here we will use mid function. What this function does, this function provides us information that your cell particular text, identify your particular text and provides you result. So I want to identify my first text, and from only first text I want, so I will press 1. So it will give me result A, because A is my first text. If it is X, it will give me X. So no issue, it is a dummy part number. So we'll use here isNumber function. So suppose I write any number here, let's see 0, so it is showing false. Why? Because if I select my formula and press F, it will say false. So instead of this, to get this activated, we will use another function, value. Value function will help us to resolve our problem. One more bracket was required. So suppose my first text is number, it will show me true. So we want that it should be compared for text, so we will use not function here, bracket and one more bracket here. So if my first text is not number, it should give me true result. Currently it is 9, so it is showing me false. If it is, let's say, T, it will give me true result. So this function means that my first text is not number, which means my first text is text. My first number is text, so it is provide me true result. Second also should be text, third also should be text, fourth also should be text, and fifth also should be text. So I can use same function for my second number. Instead of 1, I will say second. So my second S, it is also text, so the system is getting true. For my 3, it is also correct. For my fourth text and for my fifth text. So all my first 5 results shows true. Let's test it. If I write any number, these all are showing false. That means these are not text. So it works fine. I can write any number which is money. So this was my first criteria, that my first 5 characters should be text only, which is fulfilled with this function. Second criteria is my 6 to 9, next 4 characters should be number. So how to validate it? 6 to 9 number. So again we will use mid functions. Here we will identify our 6th to 9th criteria. We'll select 6th first and we want next 4 number, so press 4, close the bracket. So it provides us 7870. That means it provides us 6, 7, 8, 9 characters here, and these characters we want should be numeric only. So for that we will use is number function, and to get it activated we will take help of one more value function. So it is showing true. That means my 6 to 9 character in these cells are number only. Let's test it. If I correct 7, 8, then GG, it shows false. That means if I write only 4 character from 6 to 9th, then only it will show me true result. So it also works fine. And my last condition is my 10th digit should also be text. So you can use these functions only, that your 5th character should be text. Similarly, your 10th character also should be text. So this is how formula generates. And now we will take help of AND functions to combine our formula. And to validate it, we will also take help of clipboard. First I clear my previous data, then I select my formula. So how to select it, let's see. One more thing I want to share with you, that in data validation, if your formula is too lengthy, you cannot put this in data validation in custom function, because there is limitation of text in data validation. So to validate, we will not use this function, we will use our function from this cell to this cell. Let's select your functions, just select it, do not select is equal to, just copy it. Again select your next formula, select your entire formula, copy it. Similarly copy it, copy it, copy it. So it is done. So now I will use AND functions here. Let's see, I am using here, and then here I will use is equal to AND, close the bracket. I will copy all my functions, then press comma, then my second formula, then comma, third, and I will press enter. This is my final formula. If my all criteria are true, then my formula is correct. Let's see, I write any number here, so it will be false. So it is my final formula. So I want to apply this formula in this cell, so we'll select our formula, we'll select this cell, and we will go to data validation. Go to data validation, and here in custom function just paste your formula. So here one more thing we will do, we will show alert message, and number should have 10 digit, first 5 text, next 4 number, and 10th should be text only. So at the time of error, system will show me this message. So let's try it. If I write here any text, sorry, any number, system does not allow me that a number should have 10 digit, first 5 should be text, next number, and 10th should be text. So at the time of data entry, control can be there. This was obviously basic work, rough work. You can either delete it or you can hide it. You can also check once again that if my first is number, does system allow? System does not allow, because it is not matched with the criteria given. So this is how you can validate whether your user has entered correct PAN number or not. If you are okay with your criteria, you can copy it and paste in your entire selection. validation. So in this cells also CV, if it is wrong, message does not allow. So that's how it works. I hope you like this video and thanks for watching.